My dad, the only true memory I have about him is when he was drinking, he'd put me in the room. He had a lock on the outside of the door. And, you know, sometimes I'd hear my mom screaming. I'd always hear him yelling.
My husband would stay home and drink and devise ways of abusing me. I was mentally tortured. And when he was physically abusive to me, it was extreme.
He was beating her all the time. And my mom says that I was like in the room crying, telling my dad to let me out.
My son was being encouraged to call me a bitch and a whore. And at that point, I wanted to get away, not so much for me, but for my son.
When David was 5 years old, he and his mother escaped with the help of a domestic violence shelter.
They had my husband rated at the highest rating of dangerous that they had on their scale.
A year and a half later, David was doing better. Anne began letting the boy's father back into their lives.
He wasn't drinking, and he was being the charming, fun guy with a touch of sadness because his wife had taken his boy away from him.
On the morning of May 2nd, 1982, David's father was spending the weekend at their house. David was 6 years old.
I heard a rasping, and that's when I went into the bedroom, and there was blood everywhere. I just mostly remember seeing blood and knife.
He had a serrated edged butcher knife, and he slashed my throat.
I jumped on his back. I guess he threw me off, and I got back on and was choking him and kicking him, telling him to get off my mom.
You stop it, you're hurting my mom. Look at all the blood. And my son persisted. And if he hadn't, I would never have gotten off that floor.
He seemed mad. I don't know if he was mad because I pulled him off, mad because he couldn't finish what he was doing. I don't know. I mean, it's 6 years old. How do you judge stuff like that?
David's father then locked himself in the bathroom and killed himself by cutting his own throat. David has never been the same since.
I saw a bright, beautiful little boy be emotionally ambushed. His school grades went down. I had him in private school for first grade, and he failed.
The puppies I like too much. I don't want to give them all away. But if I get good grades and keep them, I'll be able to keep one puppy.
I mean, I went from a straight A student to a straight F student. I just started doing my own thing, whether it was stealing, ditching school. I was getting in a lot of fights. I never stabbed anybody. Well, yeah, I never stabbed anybody. Guns were never a thing to me. I guess a bat, it's more raw force. A gun, it'll shoot you and kill you. A knife, it'll hurt. But a bat will break your bones and make you hurt for a long time.
My son was locked up basically from the time he was 15 until he was 18. I feel bad for him. He's my baby. He went through things that no child should have to go through.
At the age of 20, David met Laurie. They were married soon after and began a life together.
It seemed like the honorable thing to do. She was pregnant, so I figured, well, let's get married.
He proposed to me, and we both discussed having kids at a young age.
I think that was a big mistake. I mean, at 24, I shouldn't be married with 2 kids. When I'm at home, I want to relax. I don't have any parenting skills. They're doing something, or when they're crying, I guess I'll tell them to shut up, or I'll go put them in their room because I don't want to hear them crying. I'm not going to stay married. I am going to get a divorce.
I think she's pretty happy still. I mean, yeah, we have, you know, little arguments here and there. They're not screaming and they're not violent, so I don't think it's something that's gonna, like, in a sense, give her nightmares, you know?
I don't know how to love. To me, love is temporary. It's like sex. You have it, it's over with, big deal.
When he yells, it frightens me.
He has, like, one time gotten angry, not punching or anything like that, but he held me by my throat, not tightly, but, you know, to just, you know, keep me in his control. He's the one that realized what he was doing at that point and stopped. at least against me. He put his hand through a wall that night.
If you're willing to walk, I'll have my lawyer drop the paperwork Monday morning. If that's what you want, I will take you to court and I will take the kids from you.
You won't be able to take them.
Yes, I will.
Oh, and you're gonna create a good childhood for them?
Money
Hardly.
talks, bull walks.
You wouldn't even raise the kids. You would get someone to do it for you.
You're right. I'd pay a nanny to do it for myself. Whoa, hey! Go get some nice cream.
When I think of my grandchildren, they are on an emotional roller coaster in that house. They're either manically happy or terrified.
Did you get a Tweety? A Tweety? What should we turn the TV on for?
Or you wanna watch cartoons?
Let her eat her.
I want to take them out of the house. You can't adequately parent your children if you are in a situation of abuse. She can't spend the time with her children being nurturing with them because the abuser pulls the focus of attention onto themselves. And my son will say, flat out, I'm the only one in this house that counts.
Hi, Pumpkin. How was your ice cream?
I'm trying to
I
understand.
won't come back. You lose.
Whatever, fine, we get the separation.
No problem.
He does this all the time.
Hey.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't act out violently, but it scares me that I might. You've seen how I'll chase people just for cutting me off.
Yeah, but you're not planning on smashing into them.
No, I'm planning on chasing them, following them to their house and beat the out of them. I just don't ever in my life want to reenact what happened with my father. Not saying I'd take a knife to your neck. I just never want to lay a hand on you.
I want to believe it, that he would never do that. But from my experience, I can't. It's not safe for her to be there.
I just think that if you're at that state that night, you don't come home.
I don't think that Lori gets yet that she could be in imminent danger.
No, you don't have to come out, baby. Go watch TV.
They need to face the truth of what they're doing in their lives so that they can stop passing it on to their children.